What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode here on the channel. Today, my boy Eric Scott Tyler here. Eric, how we doing?
Doing wonderful, wonderful. Happy to be here.
So this will be a simul post. This is going to be audio for the podcast and also a nice little vid for the YouTube channel. Welcome to Heart Guide Media. And if you're listening to the podcast, it's the Sight and Sound podcast presented by Heart Guide Media. But wanted to do a little video today and just discuss. It's summertime. I always bust this movie out in summertime, sometimes fall, sometimes both seasons. I'll rip this one. I know our feelings on this are very similar, but we're talking the one, the only Night of the Living Dead 1990. Uh, Possibly the greatest horror remake of all time. Uh, Eric, give me a little background on this movie for you. First time you saw it, did you see it before the original? Thoughts? What age were you? Give me the whole background on you seeing Dead 90 for the first time.
For sure, for sure. So obviously, I think I've spoken before on the pod about it. I mean, I got obsessed with George at a very, very young age, but I didn't actually see the remake to a bit later. Mid-teens, I want to say like 16 is probably right around the first time I watched it.
Okay.
Um, I think like when I'm younger or when we're all younger too, like we all have like a stigma, the stigma that comes with remakes. So I didn't know what to think of it at first. Like obviously when you hear of it, like you're kind of in your head, you probably think, well, it's a remake, it can't be that good. But I was blown away by this one, and it's like you said, I truly think it's the greatest, if not,
Yeah,
one of the
it's
greatest remakes. I mean, I'm not going to put the Thing in there because that's something different, but the pantheon of horror remakes, I don't know how you don't consider this top tier.
yeah, you have to. It's you really have to. It's so important. Hold on. I have to edit this. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, dude, it's this is so important, this movie. And it's funny because it's kind of like a shot for shot remake almost. You know what I mean? There's some big differentiators uh between this and the original. Um so when you saw this though, did you
Mhm.
know about the original Night of the Living Dead like already and did you just think that this was a different like because in my mind, like it what I saw this so young, dude, and I definitely
Right.
saw this first.
Yeah.
I saw this first. Um, and it was just on like TV, like HBO, Cinemax, whatever it was on, Showtime, whatever it was on. And I then, I think I heard my parents are like, well, the original Night of the Living Dead's black and white. And I
Mhm.
remember being like, I don't want to watch a 5 years old or however old I was like, I don't want to watch a black and
Yeah,
white movie.
yeah.
I want to see a zombie movie. And I think about it now, and the more I hear people talk,
Uh-huh.
it is weird. Like I did not grow up, and as did you and BT and everybody. It was not normal for like 5 year olds to be obsessed with Lost Boys. To find like even 7, 8, 9 year olds to be obsessed with Night of the Living Dead.
For sure.
And I didn't realize that until like later. And that's not me being like, I'm so cool. I grew up with horror or whatever, but I
Yeah,
really
no.
like did like, I was like, and it also scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like it did
Right.
probably some early damage
Well, I think like it's
in a
safe to
good way.
say that it's safe to say we both grew up in like pretty open households,
Yeah. There's no restrictions
Yeah,
really.
like not that my parents weren't parenting, but me and my brother, and I know you, like we pretty much almost could watch,
I
whatever
Listen,
movie.
they would
So,
listen. My mom, well, someone could be getting their head sawed off. She's fine with it. If a tit was on screen, cover your eyes.
well, yeah, that's kind of where I guess the line got drawn, maybe a little bit, but yeah, I mean, and BT more than me probably, like he was watching stuff like so young, and so pretty open households, yeah, like and which I
Yeah,
think, in my opinion, helped us, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, and then you form even more bonds with films that are stronger, I think, because you even have like some of your first memories are tied to films. Like some of my earliest memories are tied to The Lost Boys and Pet Cemetery and this and Friday the 13th, Final Chapter, like all these movies that I saw for the first time super young
Right.
and just they stuck with me. But this one is so interesting because the idea of them wanting to do this. So George Romero, the king, the icon, the legend. We've both met him multiple times. He's a hero to us. The first time we met him, me, you, and Brian met him together, and then the second time, me, you, and Brian and Sean. Sean was at that one, right? Where we
I
met
think so.
George
Yeah.
second time, yeah.
Yeah.
We are our core friend group here of the horrorites are, have a deep affection for, of course, Carp and Toby and Wes, but George especially, we have a deep thing with because we met him several times, and he was a constant at horror conventions. But John Russo, also, helped make the original film. I think sometimes that gets lost, and Russ Streiner as well. And a lot of the guys like Gary Streiner, who was a camera operator and an assistant director, whatever you want to call it. The dude was Russ's brother was very involved with this as well. But they had gotten because if anybody doesn't know, you should know. And if you're watching this, I know you know. But in the event that you don't, the original title for Night of the Living Dead was Night of the Flesh Eaters. So what happened was it got filed under that, and it didn't get filed under Night of the Living Dead. So Night of the Living Dead became like a public domain. So anybody could do it. They didn't make any money off the original Night of the Living Dead, which is insane. All
That's
and
why you can buy it on like every
Yeah,
format from every single company.
you could buy it. There's been endless VHS releases and
We should actually
DVDs.
put out a Harkad cop. We should.
Yeah, we just, what the fuck? We might as well, right? And donate it to the George A. Romero Foundation and buy,
Yeah.
buy Uncle John Russo a sandwich when we see him at the next con. Um, but anyway, him and Russ Streiner, and George, got the idea together. Like, hey, let's actually cash in and make some money off the Night of Living Dead name. Let's do, the studio Columbia TriStar. I think initially it was, I can't remember what studio, or well, some studio initially had it and then they didn't end up doing it. I can't remember if it was Paramount.
Mhm.
But there's two books that if you want some good insight into this film, the first one I'm going to talk about is so George produced the movie as was an executive producer, as was Christine Romero. And then there was a couple studio producers in there, and then of course Russ Streiner and John Russo were producers. They weren't executive producers, but they were producers. Um, and they were able to be on set most of the time. George wasn't there the entire time because I think at that point he was working on what was it 90, so what was he doing two evil eyes maybe,
Yeah, had to be right
or
in the range.
Tales from the Dark Side or something. Like wasn't there often. John Russo was there throughout the most of the production. So he put out this book, this graphic novel, as it were, or book, whatever you want to call it. And it's John Russo's Night of the Living Dead 1990 illustrated history. So this is incredible because it documents everything from the idea of wanting to get it done. And he has over 1,000 of his own personal photos from the production end here. And this is amazing. There's just so much awesome stuff in this book. Like I got to show you
Mhm.
this photo is great of George. And I will say John Russo is very he's just got a cone on his head. Just
That's it.
amazing. And it really just tells the entire story of pre-production, production, post-production, the event, the premiere, which I have a Dead 90 t-shirt as well
Yeah.
that I bought from John Russo, or BT bought from John Russo for me, that he got at that premiere, or at one of the premieres, because there was a premiere in LA and there was a premiere in Pittsburgh. Anyway, this documents it all because John Russo was on set for most of the time. He details issues he had with the producers. He details issues that he had even with George, like some miscommunications and some uh misdealings with George and just kind of his view on George. And you can definitely tell that John and Russ felt like they weren't always given the appreciation that they deserved from the first film. Um,
Right.
but at the same time, I will say, because I had heard kind of John Russo explain things and kind of always omit that he didn't think that he was as appreciated, and it was always pressed as George Romero's because George directed it, and John Russo and Russ Streiner were very integral parts. That whole crew and cast from the original were very integral to the making of the first film in 1968. But one thing I will say I am surprised for both by and for pleasantly so is John really does do some really nice says some nice things about George in this book. He really does.
That's
And gives
awesome.
George his due. He has some issues with George for sure, but he says some really nice things in it. Even in the
Yeah,
foreword, he ends it with, as my good buddy George Romero would always say, "Stay scared." So that was like that made me feel good to read, even though there was some issues between those
for
two.
sure. I mean, I feel like a lot of probably all of George's projects were very community and family based, like
Yeah,
a lot of the same people and
yeah.
in the area. So, him and John working together for so long, you're gonna probably butt heads on some stuff. So,
You're just gonna creative guys. So something that's also interesting about this is Savini, the classic story that Tom Savini obviously went on to work with George Romero on Dawn of the Dead and Martin and Night Riders, and obviously Savini is the master of splatter, the
mhm,
greatest, makeup effects artist, definitely of the 80s. Um, he when you say Rick Baker, Rob Bottin, uh, Dick Smith, you you say Savini in the same breath without hesitation.
100%. Yeah,
He's a godfather.
one of the icons of special effects. 100%.
And I love the obviously the famous story is he wanted to work on the original Night of the Living Dead because he's from Pittsburgh, couldn't because he was going to Vietnam. Comes back, ends up working with George on George's films. Opportunity comes up after George and Tom had worked together for years. Why not have Tom Savini direct the Night of the Living Dead remake? Because they knew it would be in good hands. And honestly, dude, this movie, I always thought it was an A plus. Always. I never really had any issues with it. And I on the special features of the original DVD, Savini talks about, how the MPAA just fucking slaughtered the MPAA in particular. The late 80s and the early 90s was awful.
Right.
Awful.
Yeah, I mean, I know he had to cut a lot of the film, right? And that's kind
Yeah.
of what even though we think it's amazing, I think when people bring up like kind of the negatives, I know he kind of says that's one of the driving forces is you're not seeing the movie that he made, really. I mean, you are, but he cut a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be in it. So,
And that's another thing too, is like the MPAA was brutal. Like I remember Jeff Burr talked several times at conventions on special features of Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The MPAA just butchered and sliced, his movie too when it came out
right,
in the early 90s. And they were just like on a tear just to censor to give them something to do. And I think Wes, I can't remember if it was Wes, and I could be wrong and I could be misspeaking, it could be wrong. But if I remember, it might have been Wes with People Under the Stairs. I could be really wrong here, but they
Mhm.
gave Wes a bunch of notes on stuff to cut. And then he said he just it might not have been People Under the Stairs. It might have been something else. And I'm pretty sure this was Wes. If it wasn't, it was someone else. But neither here nor there, I guess kinda. Because they had said, okay, we did the cuts that you asked for. Here's the film. We cut every single thing that you asked for. Then they would not cut anything, and then they would come back and be like, yeah, that's good, but can you cut this now and this and this?
Right,
And they literally had no clue. Or there was one movie, I can't remember which one it was, but they did that. They're like, yeah, we cut it all. And they're like, okay, yeah, sounds good. They didn't review the film or anything like that. And then they just put put it out. So the MPAA, the Motion Pictures, Association of America, that rates films is was bullshit. Then it's probably bullshit now. Now it doesn't matter because
Right.
it's
Now, we're in a
expensive.
different
But
world now, but to think about the films that have come out historically that have been altered by, people
it's
about like not the director, not the writer, not the cinematographer, like people in an office somewhere that have altered these
yeah,
films' history because of cutting or whatever. Like, I just Googled the Wes Craven thing just to see if I could find what it was specifically. I mean, they talk about cursed a lot, but it reminds me that they how the studio gave him so much shit for the opening scene of Scream when Drew gets the old axe.
yeah,
Like
they would
they wanted to
honestly,
fire him for that, which
yes.
that's like one of the most iconic scenes in horror. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's funny too is yeah, because they were sending dailies to not Harvey, who was the other Weinstein? Why am I blanking on his name?
no, I'm blanking too because Harvey's taken over.
Not I know, not Harvey. What the fuck is the other name?
We'll find it.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Bob Weinstein.
Bob
Bob.
Weinstein. The
Yes.
Wes famously said he was sending like Weinstein's like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. You gotta tell me what you're doing because I don't know what you're doing. And Wes would send him dailies, and it's like dailies of like the kids talking in front of the like fucking the fountain and stuff. And he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what you're doing. This is terrible. I don't know what you're doing. And then he sent him like one of the scenes. He's just like, he called Wes back after leaving Wes voicemails and be like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. This fucking movie's derailed. It's done. It's over. I'm shutting this shit down. And then Wes sent him like some scene. I can't remember what it was. It was some scene, and then he's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Make your fucking movie. Don't listen to me. What the fuck am I talking about? You know, and
I mean,
that
more
was,
times than not, they should just keep their mouth shut for sure.
yes. I
So
mean,
obviously,
Harvey should keep his mouth shut and his hands
well,
off other people,
yes,
but that's a
hands
whole
full of
nother
love.
can of worms.
I
Um,
think like just to like I know a lot got cut and everything, but
yeah.
I think personally like why the another reason why the film is so good is because of the people behind it. Like obviously
100%.
Romero Savini truly cares about the Night
And
of the Living Dead fucking whatever you want to call it. So
dude, he talks about it too. Like that one scene where the charred zombie is like coming towards the back of the truck and Ben's on the back in the back of the pickup, and
right,
he goes to shoot the zombie that's just got put out, was on fire, and he goes to shoot him, and the cut footage, they show the cut footage in the deleted scenes and all that stuff. They show it and its head blows up and it's a great head explosion gag. And Savini says in the special features, he goes, the fact that we pulled away, he's just like, whatever you think happened is your imagination is gonna make it better than anything we're gonna be able to put on screen anyway. So it
right.
ended up aiding it to a degree. The studio, unfortunately, though, was breathing down as the producers were, and everybody had to be, were breathing down Savini's neck because they were losing days, they were behind. So there was a lot of stuff that Savini wanted to do, but he could not do. Not even gag related necessarily always, but story and scene driven. And I think it came out in 2020. I remember because Bridge got it for me during COVID, the Christmas COVID. Um, and
What a
it
time.
Tom Savini put this out. It's Night of Living Dead 90, the version you've never seen. And this is storyboards and explanations of what he actually wanted to do and stuff that he could not fit in the film. And just like cool sequences, like at the end of he wanted to do a mirror scene too, where and it's funny because Kevin Tenney used it too. They wanted to show Barbara's like reflection in the shattered glass to show that she's been emotionally and mentally shattered and stuff at the end of the film, stuff like that.
Right.
Also at the end where Barbara is looking at the pile of zombies being set ablaze, they initially, which this is the only thing that I think should have made the film, is Harry and Ben face to face on the pile, and then they're being burned.
Right.
That was like the ultimate dichotomy of like good versus bad,
I know.
good versus evil, and like it didn't matter at all which guy was good, which guy was bad, because they both turned to zombies and now they're dead and turned to dust, and nothing else mattered because now you're just a dead zombie being burned.
It's
And
a
that
good
would have
metaphor for life itself, to be
it
honest
fucking
with
is.
you.
We're all dead zombies waiting to be burned.
We're all just gonna be dead zombies, pretty much. So,
Um, and that I think if that would have ended and with the photo, because at the end it obviously with the you hear like the pictures going back and forth and you see like pictures of her eyes and then just the scenes, the sepia toned like photos
right.
of like zombies being lynched. The burn piles, a guy with a meat hook just dragging people, and it shows like the dehumanization of people, and you could go way deep and philosophical and just like deep in like the what that ending truly signifies. But there are stuff that Savini wanted to fit in that he details in this book, and he's detailed that in the special features and stuff. And he had a really rough time. What's so cool is all the storyboards too are just so fun because I think they're all his storyboards too. And like you literally just have Pat Logan, who is a local cop in Pittsburgh, who is the bald zombie Uncle Reach in the movie. Like you get pictures like that of Savini's personal stuff. Wall my office with all the boards, like just really cool stuff. And it was just so, and even like this is before Ben was cast because Ben kind of looks like Ash in this. Like he kind of looks like
Oh, yeah, he does actually.
and I wonder if he's just like, oh, make him Bruce Campbell. It's just Bruce Campbell. Uh,
Speaking of though, like that's another thing is just the cast and like man,
dude,
Tony.
the cast, listen, I understand that not everyone is going to know the names like Tommy Talls, Patricia Tallman, William Butler. Dude, this fucking cast, albeit small, is fucking elite. There's not a weak link in this cast.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. Like
Like
with
Heather
behind the
Mauser is
camera and,
Sarah.
and
Like it's just that every single person in this cast is perfect.
I just think the obviously we know like the Ben character is like such a force
Yep.
in the original and this one like Tony Todd's world class and
Oh God, this is his best in my eyes. This is his best role.
I mean yeah, yeah.
Emotional, the motherfuckers cry. Dude, I've put it in two of my bands that I've had. I put that fucking "This is hell on earth, this is pure hell on earth" speech in a fucking breakdown or before a song because it's that sick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really is, and this is one of his better roles. I just think like we talked about, like I said, with Savini behind the camera, like everyone obviously cares about the Night of the Living Dead name and kind of paying homage to it, but the cast drives it as well. It's not like it's just he
No,
didn't
yeah,
just pump out shit. But I personally think a lot of people hate it or anything because of what it is, right? Like it's Night of the Living Dead is one of the most iconic films in history, let alone just horror film, but films in history. So, you know how people get like about remakes,
yeah.
even if they get like that way now. I just mean like, so people just don't even want to give it the benefit of the doubt most of the time. But like this film is, I just don't know how someone could argue that there's not heart. Like this film has heart. Like I know it's a remake, but it's more of like a
And
tribute. Like you
the
know what I mean?
it,
Like
it
it's
really is. It's like I don't know. It's like when the band becomes better than the original. Not I'm not saying it's better than the original. The original stands on its own as like the
yeah. I
greatest
mean.
independent film of all time. It's the greatest
And
independent film of all time. Not just a horror film, the greatest independent film of all time.
for sure. I mean, think about 1968, seeing that on the big screen is like you're changing film hit like the
Yeah.
direction of film. So
And I will say the decision, which is so brilliant, to make Barbara not be meek and weak-willed and just distraught and catatonic the entire time.
Right.
um, is super integral to the film because Patricia Tallman literally obliterates and owns this movie. And I loved that. Like, that's kind of what I loved. Like, honestly, like, Barbara in the original was a little annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's bad. It's not bad, but like, compared to the badass that Patricia Tallman is in this remake, you're
Right.
like, I'm juiced up. Like, I would be her like Channing Tatum on a leash. You know what I mean? Like, type thing. I'd
Gee.
follow her into the depths of hell because she's so
Yeah.
badass.
No, I know what you mean about like
And this is
the
before,
character.
listen,
It's a
this,
different take
dude,
on the character. Yeah.
this is before Linda Hamilton's wearing the wife beater with fucking, tight pants and looking militaristic and being a badass that's super like slim and slender and got a little muscle definition and look like she's gonna put Harry in a headlock type thing. This is before Linda Hamilton and T2. Linda
Right.
Hamilton was still serving a mountain burger and fries that we have, and Linda Hamilton is what we have. She's at Flo's. She's at Flo's. That we don't know the Linda Hamilton badass, AI disruptor at that point.
We do not. We do not.
And call me crazy.
Patty was first. Patty was there first.
Patty was A1.
And yeah, she's taking on making the Barbara character a little bit more, a little tougher. Because you're right, the OG is she's just spaced out and
Yeah.
gross.
Which is probably for women of the time might have been pretty like on par. But it's the 90s, late 80s, going into the 90s, where it's in the 90s. So people are, and mind you, this movie, I kept thinking growing up without having knowledge, without always being able to search things on IMDb, and there isn't even this knowledge on IMDb. I assumed that this movie was shot in like fall of 89 and then came out in fall of 90. Wrong. This
Right.
motherfucker shot in April of 90 and came out in October.
I know that's
They
nuts.
were running and fucking gunning. They had film in Q2, fucking put it out in Q3 or Q4.
Which is, yeah, like really not something you would see. I mean, I don't know
No,
what the
not
camera on
it's not
film.
super common. Like it happens, but like that's not super common. And for the kind of film that they ended up churning out, and the special features on the DVD too. I mean, obviously now they're all those features have been ported over to the Umbrella Blu-ray, and now the 4K that came out from Sony Columbia TriStar last year, which is great. People, I love that they ask him, and I don't even know where they got it, is when they asked Savini, and they're like, was it true? Was there any truth to that you had the rumors that you had a drug problem on? He goes, me? A drug problem? Like, look at me. He's
I know, right?
but he was going through a divorce, so that was really it was a hard time personally for Savini. You throw that in the mix too. The fact that you churned out such a brilliant film amongst like, being rushed and by the studio and deadlines and then personal issues as well. And then and I know for years because he didn't get the film that he exactly wanted, he was
Right.
kind of like on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the fact that he's even coming around on it now, like even more so, makes me really happy too. Because I want Tom to love the film as much as the fans do, because fans are starting to love it more and more as time goes
For
on.
sure. Well, I can imagine, like, yeah, like they obviously he has a much different perspective than
Of
we have.
course.
Like, he's fighting to get it made, and they probably went
Yeah.
through so much bullshit. But it is nuts. Like, looking, they shot like April to like June, and we're making it so like 4 months after that it was in theaters.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like
That's fucking crazy.
that's nuts.
You
It's
still
a,
got, yeah, it's the fact that this movie is what it is. And like I said, there's so much nostalgia tied to this movie for me. Like, you remember my parents' house. Like, it
for
looked like if
sure.
you walked out of that house in Dead 90 and you looked out there and you see a shed and just dark trees, that's what you walked out and saw across from my parents' house.
Yeah. Sometimes you think Chris might be, he might have been a zombie. Like,
Exactly.
you never know where you're gonna find him. So, yeah.
exactly. And it's just like I tied this time movie's so tied to like, early like years, formative years for me. My parents, I think of both I remember watching this on TNT. I remember like, and I had it recorded on VHS like for off TV or whatever, and I remember the tag and everything. But I
Yeah.
remember this was randomly playing on TNT one night, and I remember Satch was like bullhead fishing or something, and I was watching it late at night. I can't remember. This had to have been like mid 90s. And Satch came home with like buckets of bullhead and then poured them in the tub. I'll never forget it. It's like it's a memory so like ingrained. And I don't know when this was, like 96, 97 maybe.
I mean, I
And
loved a
it's
good bullhead fishing trip to Oneida Lake, so
and it's
sounds
so
amazing.
tied like to my memory. Like I think about that night of him like dumping two 5 gallon pails of bullhead in the. You know what I mean? It's just so it's like things like that. Like that's what makes
For
like
sure.
movies sentimental and personal when
I
you
was just gonna say that's it's not just the films itself, but it's everything that goes along with it, like the
yeah.
nostalgia of seeing it, the time of the year, something that connects you to that gives you that memory. You watch it now, and I'm sure you think about, like you just said, you think about those memories with your father. So
Yeah, man. It's the movie itself though, it has endured and I feel like you were saying though, I think some people don't give it the time of day.
yeah,
But
I
I
just don't
do
know if you're a horror movie fan and you like Night of the Living Dead. I just don't know why you would watch this and be like, oh, it sucks. Like it just doesn't
no,
compute.
it's so well made. And the cat like Tom Tolles is amazing in this. And if you haven't seen him in much else, he has a small role in Blood In, Blood Out, Bound by Honor, the prison movie that's iconic. Um, he is in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer as Otis O'Toole, which is deeply dark and disturbing. Um, he's in The Borrower, that was also late 80s. He was in an episode of Seinfeld. Um, I think he had a dog. He had the dog that bit Elaine. Um,
That's it.
but unfortunately, he passed before I could get to a con to meet him. I think he passed in 2015, and he was just a tremendous actor. He played such. His presence in this is so. He was like likable, but I hated
I
him.
hated him. Yeah, for sure. I was just
You
gonna
know what
say
I
the
mean?
same thing. You kind of like him, but you hate him, but you kind of like him at the same time, for sure.
You like him because you could see like what a great actor he is, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just his lines in it are hilarious. Like, what a place to be stuck. Middle of nowhere. Bunch of yo-yos.
Yeah,
Uh
his delivery. It's like his
yeah.
voice in the delivery for sure.
None of those yo-yos got a car. Like he's fucking like so good. And he's so like he just looks like a menacing, conniving motherfucker too. You know what I mean? He looks like that guy that's doing shady shit like always, not just taking the TV from upstairs. You can't get any reception in the basement, dickhead. Also, and as we said, like William Butler is just one. He's like, oh, boy's got a vibe. He's got the George Fisherman vest on. He's got the Iron City beer
I was gonna
crew
say
neck
he
on.
has the best style in the movie for
I was gonna
sure.
say he's like you would dap him up if you fucking
Yeah.
ran into him in Monroeville.
100%.
The Steelers fucking snapback fucking uh but even the whole like the vibe of this movie is just so creepy. Like it's like the first one is like the ultimate
For
creepiness.
sure. For sure.
And like that the score plays into that and the Paul is it Paul McCullough? Is that who did this? This dude that did the score for this I always loved. Yeah, Paul McCullough. The score for this dude makes this film for me. It
Score's great.
makes this. It's so creepy.
I actually have a question for you, and maybe it's in something I hadn't seen or like a special feature or in those books. Was Savini's, did they ever consider making it black and white or they always wanted to be color?
So it's in the new 4K. So
Okay.
initially Savini wanted to do this. He wanted to start it black and white. He wanted to start it
Wow.
black and white and then slowly layers of color would start coming in. So they did it kind of with the 4K, but they fucked it up. And I haven't
Yeah.
heard. I want to talk to. I, Savini's going to be at Will's Con in
In
October. I kind
October,
of want
yeah.
to. I don't need to meet Savini again because I met
I
Savini
was gonna
four
say.
times. But I kind of want to meet him again. He'd be like, "Hey, are you that fat kid that did that YouTube video?" um, you said I was mean. No. But I want him to. I want so in the 4K, they do that. They start in black and white, but as
Yeah,
soon as the Greg Funk zombie pushes Johnny out of the way, goes after Patricia Tallman, it snaps into the color, which is cool. It's a cool effect because then it snaps
sure.
into the color. And it's just like, so I don't know if that was a Savini's like, yeah, let's just snap into color like that, because Savini always said in archival special features and everything, he wanted to slowly, as she was getting to as they were being attacked, and then as she was slowly making her way to the farmhouse, layers of color would be added in. So I'm
Hmm.
interested if he changed his mind, or if he's just like start it in black and white and then fade into that, and then fucking Dick Smee was like, yeah, he said change it to color around here, so I'll just fucking
Right.
hit the color button.
Well, it sounds like I got to get that 4K because
The
I
4K
definitely.
is fucking beautiful. It's
Yeah.
awesome. There's new features on it. There is a YouTube channel called Night of Living Dead, and I think it's called Night of Living Dead 1990. And I'm not sure who runs it, but there's a bunch of production videos on there. And they have like isolated music tracks on there as videos on
Yeah.
the YouTube. They have literally just the audio of the entire movie on there. So if you're if you're bored at work and you're sick of
You just
listening
want
to
to listen to it.
podcasts, you just listen to the audio version of Dead 90, which
Not a
I'm not
bad
gonna lie,
idea.
I did that with Dawn of the Dead recently, and
Yeah.
that was a fun day at work.
Yeah, I guess it would be pretty interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Just
I had
listening.
fun doing that.
That's
Um,
You have to watch that.
Yeah, this movie though, dude, the zombies in this movie. I know I've said like everything makes this movie. I was like, the cast makes this movie, the soundtrack makes this movie. Honestly, all this stuff really does. The zombies in this, for my money, are the best zombies put on cinema that scare the piss out of me still. Like they just creep me out. And Savini,
But
obviously being a Vietnam photographer, he knew how people fell when they died. He knew what they looked like when they died. So everything could, eyes sunken in, skin tones, how they would, obviously you don't know how someone's going to move, but you do your best to come up with that. And every zombie is memorable in this. That's and that kind of ties into George. George had so many memorable zombies, maybe not so
yeah,
much in Night of the Living Dead, but Dawn of the Dead, R.I.P. Jim Crut, or
for
R.I.P.
sure.
R.I.P. Jim Crut. Helicopter zombie just passed this week. All right, big R.I.P. to him. The George, it was like a staple of George zombie movies was memorable zombies. And
100%.
and this movie had the zombie that Ben hits with his truck, memorable zombie. The zombie with the surfer pants that's on the porch. Um, that zombie is like just super creepy. Um, what other zombies are there? The Greg Funk zombie, the cemetery zombie is super like awesome and super creepy. That one always freaked me out. The cab driver, the super thin yellow guy that Barbara's going, "Is he dead?" That guy was a cab driver that Savini was getting a ride to set, and he's like, "Hey, you'd be good for the movie. Why don't you come in? We'll put some makeup on you." And that guy was there. The Mr. Magruder zombie, like the gray-haired zombie that is is great in this, like the Uncle Reed zombie, like there's like nine memorable zombies in this goddamn film. The old woman holding the kid, the baby doll zombie, like there's
Right.
just so many of them.
Well, I think, like you said, like kind of we mentioned earlier too, like Savini obviously having
Mhm.
his background, he's
Yeah.
not just a normal director when it comes to special effects.
No,
So
no, he's the master.
he's
So
gonna, he's not gonna show fucking,
do you,
awful.
if you can pinpoint one, is there any zombie in here that you think is like maybe your favorite? Uh, be it makeup or just the creepiest? Was there any that ever stood out to
Isn't
you?
there, isn't the one zombie from he's in some of the posters. Like it's from the graveyard, right? From the cemetery. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's the
named
Greg
out.
Funk. Yeah,
But
that's the Greg Funk zombie.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that to me is like when I think about it, he's like
Yeah, he's
an iconic one. Or the and I don't know how much of an iconic it is, but there's a gentleman in overalls with and the Tallman was behind Patricia Tallman, and I
yep.
think
Yeah,
that
the
one's
Uncle
another one
Reed's.
too. Yep,
That was the Uncle Reed zombie. That was
right.
they've talked about if you've seen the special features, you know all this, but it's so fun if you don't. That was a local Pittsburgh cop.
That's so awesome.
Paul
Like I said,
Logan that he
the
just
family.
knew. And the dude, this is and again, you if you've seen the special features, you know all this shit. But that dude broke ribs in a motorcycle accident weeks before this, and he still did the fall stunt off the top onto a pad while recovering from broken
That's
ribs.
fucking yeah.
That's Pittsburgh tough, baby.
That's Iron City tough.
Sponsored by Iron City Beer. Is Iron City Beer still around?
They yeah, I mean it's just
They
been like
sold to
sold
like
in a
Anheuser or something, right?
right, yeah. So you could still get it. I couldn't get it here probably, or you there, but you could, in Pittsburgh they probably sell the
Right.
shit
You
out
ain't got that yins or sweating it anymore, though.
of it. No, it's not that blood, sweat, and yins and tears. Right. I
Bloods.
mean it's safe to say that this is your favorite. I mean, I know this is like one of your favorite movies of all time anyway, but this is your favorite remake, of course. Like it's not even a
By
question.
far, by far.
Yeah.
And to think what it could have been, like it could have been even better.
Right.
And I don't know. Do you think like if those some of the changes that we talked about, if the MPAA wasn't involved, if Savini had more time and could do some of the things that he wanted to do, just the couple that we discussed, um, do you think that would have made it better, or do you think it would have just kind of been what it was anyway? Um,
I mean, I think we obviously since we like it anyway, like I don't know if it matters. The only thing that is intriguing is like how I don't want to say passionate, but how much Savini's talked about it. So it seems like he really wanted those scenes in there. So
yeah.
that makes me think like it would have elevated it, but I mean, I guess it's really no, you know, what can you do now, of course, but
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I think I just think like in my personal opinion, I if someone doesn't like the movie, I don't know if like those scenes would have like sucked
Right.
them
It wouldn't
in.
have, you were gonna probably dislike it anyway. And I don't,
Right,
but I will say, as times went on, I don't really hear anybody try to kneecap this movie anymore. But I do feel like there was a time though when people would say
for
like,
sure.
oh, that's not that good and I always
100%.
thought this was elite. This was elite.
I think like certain films get put into like this weird like in the middle type thing where people
Yeah.
feel a certain way. Like Halloween 3 comes to mind.
That movie was hated for so many years. That didn't get honestly until they
Polarizing.
started making Tom Atkins shirts. Every horror outlet started making Tom Atkins shirts. I don't know if Halloween 3 would have been
Right.
popular at all. But it was cool to wear a silver shamrock fucking
Shamrock Shore.
shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's, people just are upset the Michael Myers thing. But yeah, I just think I kind of to get to my original point, like I think there's like these films in the middle where people love them, people hate them, and then or they feel they're like kind of polarizing. And I just think like this is one of them, but maybe not talked about enough either. Still, I
Right.
still don't think it's like talked about enough.
Yeah, I think it's the 4K last year for the 35th anniversary, I think helped.
Yeah,
Because there was that sold out like in a lot of places, and I think you can get your hands on it now. But that's worth every dollar. That's worth every dollar. It's so great.
right,
It looks fantastic. It's cool. And you can watch the original version still too on there. You don't have to
right.
watch the version that, with that in there and stuff. And I think they're um yeah, the 4K just it does look great. Here's the 4K. This is the original poster art, and this is a steel book that they put out. Looks fucking beautiful, man. It's like matte too.
Yeah, it does look great.
Looks great. Ooh, I still got I think I did give away the digital code at some point. But yeah, it has the Blu-ray and the 4K in there. There's a fate worse than death. It says on the back. That looks great. But I always loved the VHS cover.
Yeah,
The
VHS. I
all
mean, they're
new
both great.
1990.
VHS covers goaded.
Yeah.
Where is Speaking of all the menu you have, where's the poster? Is it hung?
The poster. Yeah, hold on. I can
I was gonna say the people got to see this
hold
because
on. I'll bring it right to the people.
the autograph heads need to see that stuff.
That they do. Actually, I'll show the shirt now we're
Oh yeah,
actually I got it right over here.
shout out BT.
This is bought in 2010 from, and this isn't dry rotted either. This is still, somehow it's not dry rotted. But it's never been washed, never been worn except for once by me. Russo did sign it. And you can see the screen print is cracked and stuff, but
Right,
this was made for the premiere. Again, Russo didn't, he was selling it at his table. I saw it, had little to no money left. Your brother walks up to him after. I was like, oh man, Russo's got a sick ass Dead 90 shirt up there. And I just thought it was like I didn't know it was an original, from the
right.
premiere. But it says it right on the bottom. It says 1990 Columbia Pictures. I'll see if I can get close on that. It's really hard to see, but
Yeah, I mean you can see it. You can kind of see it. Yeah,
but this shirt is 36 years old. So,
that's so
and
funny.
yeah, it's printed on Sanaka. Fucking Sanaka XL. Fits great.
Not
Still, it still fits like a fucking, it fits awesome. Um, I wish Sanaka was in still in business. They put comfort colors, right? It's a shame. Um, and yeah, I had little to no money left. BT walks up to Russo's table and Brian's like, "Oh, how much for the shirt?" He goes, "Oh, that thing? I can't even remember how much he charged for it. Maybe 25, $30. I
We'll
don't
have
even
to get
remember."
BT on the line. He probably won't remember either,
No,
but
but BT kindly bought it for me, and then he did ask. Russo asked if he wanted to sign it. BT hesitated because he didn't know if I wanted it signed or not, and then Russo's like, "Well, you don't. I don't have to sign it." And then Brian's like, "No, sign it!" Like trying to people please, and then he signs it. Obviously, so I don't want to wear it, but a great story. Also, forever tying your brother to the shirt, into my memory of the shirt, and now the movie.
so I know where you and I are eBay heads and we
Oh,
love
of
shirts
course.
and I know. So there's a couple of these things. There's one on here, a different brand, and the person's trying to sell for 275 smackers.
Well,
Same same
BT took
exact
you,
shirt.
John. BT took you.
Same exact one that you got there. And then there's a couple white ones,
I've seen the white ones too.
and then there's this random um apparently this is a Blockbuster promo shirt, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Ed, and I can't really see it,
Oh
but
yeah, I've seen that one too.
that one this person wants 200 bucks for.
Dang.
So you got yourself plus you got it autographed.
Yeah. Come on now. To
That's
get
fun.
Savini's autograph on that at this point, I guess.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Might as well, and then just
Is there
frame the
room? There's
fucker.
room for it, right?
Oh
Or like
yeah.
a
I wonder if a paint pen would show up on the actual cotton.
maybe. They'll
That's
probably
that's
wear it with
dangerous,
time.
actually. That's
I
dangerous.
wonder if Savini has more information on that shirt.
He ain't. He ain't no.
Probably, yeah, who
Maybe
knows?
he would though. Maybe he's like, they made the black ones for LA and they made the white ones for Pittsburgh.
You never know.
But
I mean, I don't know. It
maybe
seems
they.
like
He is a wealth of knowledge, so maybe I'll bring it just to show him.
yeah, why not?
He'd be like,
I
"Why the
mean,
fuck did John sign it?" He's a producer.
that's funny.
All right, man. Final thoughts on Dead 90 though, because I do feel like this could have been an even better film. But even that said, like I said, this is an A+ film. This is a 10. The original's a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I 100% agree. And I love that, like your passion for it, because, like I said, I feel like it's not talked about enough. I truly think it's like the best remake probably in
Gotta
horror like
be.
history. Like I just don't see anything that holds up. Like it's not really shot for shot, but it's made with like the love and passion for the original with
Yes.
people who actually care. And I think that, Savini, that speaks volumes. Um, if you're a fan of the original or a fan of horror, I just don't know why either if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it or be like
Yeah.
tell us what you think of it because yeah, like you said, it's like the perfect tribute to one of the best things in horror history, which is Night of the Living Dead.
It
So
is. It is, and it was an opportunity for them to make money where they unfortunately did not rightfully make the money that they should have made on the first one because that one did gangbusters in drive-ins and theaters, and that movie is still shown in theaters today. You know what I mean?
the Creedence Clearwater Revival of movies, right? They're not making any money off these hits.
Nope,
So
bullshit. They got Fogarty. Or
so
wait, no, they got Fogarty before Fogarty.
yeah, I was gonna say technically
But
Fogarty
CCR was what? They started in '66.
had to be right around the same time, I gotta
We're
think.
looking this up. Maybe there's a big conspiratorial fucking thing. CCR. Let's see. Did they start in '66? Maybe they started before then.
I want to say that I don't know. I mean, that's
Wow, the band members have played together since '59. 60, they were the Blue Velvets, Tom Fogerty and the Blue Velvets from 1959 to '64. And then there were the Gollywogs
of
from
course, yeah.
1964 to '67.
So yeah, like right,
So they
technically,
were CCR in '68.
yeah. The see, there's a real conspiracy in
Fogerty got
1968.
Romero, Russo, Streinerd, and Russo, Striner, Romero got Fogerty.
I hope we live in a world where Johnny and George somehow were like together in a room. They're like, we really got screwed on those deals, huh?
What the
Like,
hell happened? Born on the Bayou?
I mean, kind of wild. That's weird that I mean, it's not weird, but the same year is kind of nuts. But
1968, the year of corruption.
we gotta look. There's gotta be some
Power,
other ones we can uncover.
power lies in corruption.
The 60s, man. Come on.
Uh, but yeah, man. Obviously a goated movie, one of the best remakes. If you're in the market for more information and you love this movie as much as we do, please go to Amazon, and I think you can get both these on Amazon. I think Savini has this in his shop. The Night of the Living Dead 90, the version you've never seen by Tom Savini. Again, this is beautiful. And this is if you're a real fan of this film, you have to own both these. This, though, to be able to see all these pictures, close to 1,000 pictures that John Russo took for this. Night of the Living Dead was a hard act to follow, but in 1990, George Romero, Russ Streiner, and I decided to give it the best shot. With Tom Savini directing, a cast of enthusiastic and highly talented actors, including Tony Todd, Patricia Tallman, Tom Tolles, Bill Butler, McKee Anderson, and Kate Finnerton, it was an audacious and exhilarating adventure while making the movie. I took about 1,000 photos, many of them published here for the very first time, documenting our trials, tribulations, triumphs, in words and pictures. This book is a tribute to all who worked on the movie, John Russo. So
Hell yeah.
you might want to pick this up because it's sicker than dog shit. You might want to pick this up, also equally sicker than dog shit. Yeah, Dead. We are, as we affectionately call the film, Dead 90. Um, go check it out. Go buy the 4K. Go buy
And
these
tell us
books.
what if someone is watching or listening and hasn't seen it and then they check it out, let us know what you think.
Yeah, if you're
Or if you hate it, let us know why you hate it.
listen, if you're a first time watcher and you haven't, and for some reason you find our fucking goof asses talking about this, and then you're like, I'm gonna watch it, and then you watch it, I want to be tied to you forever, and I want to know that you watched it because our goof asses were saying that. But regardless, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Night of the Living Dead 1990. We love it. We think it's as good as the original for different reasons. Obviously, the original was groundbreaking. It changed cinema. It's the greatest independent film in cinema history, in my opinion, in Eric's opinion. But listen, Night of the Living Dead 1990, what are your thoughts on this? Is this the greatest horror remake ever? And could it have been even better had time and circumstances been different, and Savini had more ability to do what he wanted to do?
The
And
man ripped it apart, was what he's saying.
yeah,
So
that they did, as they always do. But let us know in the comments your thoughts on Night of the Living Dead 1990, as we affectionately call it, Dead 90. And yeah, we'll see you in the funny papers.